General Thorn stared at the holographic projection of the alien champion. It was a hulking creature, bipedal like its kind, but far larger and more heavily armored. Razor-sharp mandibles gnashed within its helmet, and its segmented limbs flexed with a power that promised devastating blows. A cold sweat prickled Thorn's skin. This wasn't a duel. It was a death sentence. Days turned into weeks as humans dissected the alien broadcast, their scientists analyzing every twitch, every glint of light that could offer a strategic advantage. They discovered the alien warrior fought a brutal, straightforward style, relying on overwhelming strength and near-impenetrable armor. Humanity's cobbled-together weapons wouldn't be enough. Desperate, they turned to the salvaged alien tech. Engineers cobbled together a prototype energy shield, a flickering bubble of protection that drained power with alarming speed. It was a gamble, a fragile hope against an overwhelming force. The chosen battleground was a barren asteroid, a neutral zone untouched by the war's devastation. Millions, perhaps billions, watched the live feed across Earth, a silent sea of humanity united in their desperate hope. Thorn, clad in a reinforced combat exosuit, felt the weight of expectation press upon him. He wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for every man, woman, and child on Earth. The alien champion lumbered onto the rocky terrain, its every step a tremor on the unstable surface. Thorn felt a surge of primal fear, but it was quickly replaced by a steely resolve. This wasn't a war for glory. It was a fight for survival. The duel began. The alien charged, a battering ram of bloodlust and fury. Thorn barely dodged the blow, the ground erupting where the alien's fist slammed. He activated the energy shield, a desperate gamble as the alien unleashed a barrage of energy blasts from its wrist-mounted weapons. The shield flickered, absorbing the blows but draining its reserves at an alarming rate. Thorn knew a head-on fight was hopeless. He used his agility, darting between boulders, the alien's lumbering form struggling to keep up. He fired his modified plasma rifle, the bolts bouncing harmlessly off the alien's armor. This wasn't working. He needed a new strategy. His eyes darted across the battlefield, landing on a cluster of jagged metallic protrusions jutting from the asteroid's surface. An idea, desperate and risky, flickered in his mind. As the alien lunged again, Thorn sidestepped, leading it on a chase toward the cluster of jagged spikes. The alien roared in frustration, its movements predictable, its focus solely on crushing Thorn beneath its massive form. With a final burst of speed, Thorn dove towards the metal spikes, rolling through a narrow gap just as the alien slammed into the cluster with a sickening crunch. The alien was momentarily trapped, its bulk entangled in the twisted metal. Thorn seized the opportunity. He sprinted towards the fallen alien, his plasma rifle crackling as he emptied the remaining charge into a specific point on the creature's exposed underbelly. Silence. The alien twitched, its chitinous armor smoking faintly. It was still, unmoving. Thorn collapsed beside it, the weight of the world lifting from his shoulders. He had won. A stunned hush fell over the watching world. Humans cheered, and a wave of joyous disbelief washed across the battlefield. The alien forces remained silent, a tremor of uncertainty rippling through their ranks. Finally, a transmission crackled through the comms. The alien voice, distorted and guttural, confirmed Thorn's victory. Their forces would withdraw from Earth. Humanity had won. Thorn stared at the desolate landscape, a weary smile tugging at his lips. They had defied the odds, proving their tenacity, ingenuity, and sheer will to survive. War never changes, they used to say. But perhaps, for humanity at least, it had. This wasn't just a victory over an alien invasion. It was a declaration to the galaxy. The humans of Earth were no longer prey. They were survivors, and they had just entered the galactic stage. News of Thorn's unlikely triumph spread like wildfire, not just across a jubilant Earth, but throughout known space. Suddenly, humanity wasn't just some backwater species ripe for conquest. They were the scrappy underdogs who defied all expectations and repelled a seasoned invasion force. Whispers about the unchained humans grew louder, reaching the ears of an organization Thorn had never heard of, the Galactic Federation. For centuries, the Federation had maintained order among its member worlds, balancing diplomacy and force when necessary. They saw potential in humanity, a raw, untamed spirit, something the galaxy needed, but they also recognized a volatile element. Days turned into weeks, then months, and still, no official contact arrived from the Federation. It was a strategic silence, calculated and unnerving. Thorn continued bolstering Earth's defenses, haunted by a question. Were they the hunters now, or still the hunted? Finally, a sleek diplomatic shuttle descended upon the reconstructed ruins of the United Nations building. Out stepped not another insectoid warrior, but a humanoid figure. Smooth blue skin, a head crest that hinted at avian ancestry, and eyes with a depth that belied a negotiator's shrewdness. Her name was Isha, a Federation diplomat, and she carried an unprecedented invitation. The Federation was offering Earth membership. It was a moment of stark choice. Thorn remembered the burned cities, the fields pockmarked with the scars of battle. Joining the Federation meant a voice in galactic affairs, protection under their laws, and access to technology that would propel humanity light years ahead. But it also meant oversight, rules to follow, and a tempering of the freedom they'd fought tooth and nail to reclaim. The debate raged across the globe. Some survivors, bitter and distrustful, urged Thorn to reject the offer. Isolation seemed the safest path. Others, scientists and ambitious explorers, saw vast opportunity within the Federation's outstretched hand. Ultimately, a plea from an unlikely source decided the matter. It came as a recorded message from the champion's alien commander Thorn had bested in that fateful duel. The once proud warrior was a defeated foe of Earth, and yet his message carried grudging respect. We misjudged your kind. Your potential is undeniable, though dangerous. Unchained, you are a threat. But within the fold, you may yet be shaped into a force for good. Although we are not part of the Federation, you have our endorsement for membership, for what it's worth. However, the final decision is yours. Thorn saw wisdom in those alien words. Humanity wouldn't gain peace by hiding. True strength lay in seizing opportunities, even if it meant walking into the lion's den. He stood before the assembled nations of Earth, weary, but with conviction shining in his eyes. We accept the invitation, he announced, echoing through the rebuilt hall and out into the world. This wasn't surrender. It was the boldest step humanity had ever taken. The road ahead would be filled with challenges, rivalries, and alliances forged in the crucible of galactic politics. But one thing was certain. Humanity had chosen its future, and it lay out there among the stars.